So you want to use all keyword match types except broad match. I'm not going to spend time educating you guys on all the differences between keyword match types. Look it up, and there's plenty of people who can explain it to you. But in essence, you do not want to use broad match keywords. You only want to use broad match modified keywords, which are, let's see if I can point to it. So broad match modified is this one right here. That's a keyword with a plus in front of it. This is a phrase match keyword right here. And this is an exact match keyword. So we want to use these versions. We do not want to use just the bare keyword without a plus, without quotes, without brackets. This is a no. So super important to remember that and take a picture of that slide. Okay, so how do we get the right people clicking on your ads? So for retail limo companies, it's actually a lot different than corporate limo companies. So I know this might seem overly simplistic, but this actually is this. If you literally just do this, it will work. So really the keywords that work best are just the keyword limo and then with a location. So for instance, limo Los Angeles or limo Miami. And so here's an example of a full keyword. So this plus limo plus Miami. So that's one keyword. And I know there's two words, but we refer to it as like, we still just call it a keyword. And so here's another keyword, limo Miami. You notice there's quotes around it. And then here's another one, finally, with the brackets around it. And then the same for party bus Miami. You notice party bus is two words. I put a plus in front of both of them. So remember to do that. Screenshot this one as well, guys. Very, very important that you understand that. So for corporate limo companies, it's a little more complex, but not much more. So the best keyword really for corporate limo companies is going to be car service. And that's going to make up probably 70 or 80% of the total searches, is people searching for some variation of car service. Now, limo can still work as a keyword. However, you can't just use the keyword limo service. And here's why. You're going to get a lot of people looking for stretch limos. So if you're corporate and airport focused, I know you probably just have, sedans, SUVs, maybe a, executive sprinter. And so you don't want to use the keyword limo service because that's going to attract stretch limo people. You can use the word limo, but you must combine it with an airport name or an airport code. So for instance, limo MIA, so that's like the Miami airport code, right? Or limo MIA, that's another match type. And then just this car service Miami, that's a good keyword, and that can work. And so take a picture of this slide as well. So these would be this whole thing here would be one keyword, car service Miami. This whole thing here would be one keyword, car service Miami. And so that's what you want to focus on for corporate limo companies. So negative keywords. So keywords, all keywords do is they trigger ads. Okay, so ad groups, which this is a pretty important concept as well, which I don't really cover in this, but ad groups are two things. They are keywords and ads. And so when any of these keywords down here get triggered, an ad is shown, okay? Now, negative keywords are not another list you have. And so what Google does is they're like, okay, this keyword, this search query triggered this keyword. And, oh, but they have this word, let's say it's jobs. Okay, let's say someone searched limo service jobs, right? And, you know, their ad was going to trigger, but they have the negative keyword jobs, because you don't want chauffeurs looking for work clicking on your ads, right? Wasting your ad budget. So you add jobs as a negative keyword. And so anyways, screenshot this slide as well. What you want to do is Google common negative keywords. There's a great number of like lists that will give you great examples of all the different common negative keywords you want to have. Now for the limo industry, you also want to include airports and airport codes that you don't service as negative keywords. So if these are airports you don't go to, which this can be a lot of freaking airports, you know, and I'm not talking just in the US, I'm talking worldwide. I mean, the other day, someone was searching for car service from Munich to some other place, and he clicked on one of my clients' ads because I didn't have Munich airport as a negative keyword. So that's why, you know, your native keyword list is literally the most important asset in your whole business. It's probably my most valuable asset in my business, because with that list, I can take a brand new campaign and have it performing beautifully from day one, just because I have so many of those negative keywords, which obviously I can't give that away, because that's one of, you know, the more valuable things that I have as an agency. But you also want to include locations you don't service. So think about how many, this could be thousands of cities, right? But really what I typically do is like the top 500 cities. So real quick here. So I like to provide examples because all this stuff is abstract, right? Here's an example of when you get the right traffic, right? So Derek Stafford, many of you might know Derek, great guy. I love working with him. He's been a longtime client. He has a limo company in San Luis Obispo. It was kind of a funny story. We met back in, I think, November of 2018, and I talked to him several times, and he finally, you know, back when I used to inspect Google Ads campaigns, I really don't anymore now because most of them all suck. But back when I did, I went into his campaign and I was like, Derek, you're wasting so much money on the wrong types of people clicking on your ads. And look, he didn't know me that well, and he had probably, you know, he had had a lot of bad experience with internet marketers. So he's like, yeah, Mark, I don't really know. I'm like, I'm telling you, Derek, just give me a shot. Give me a shot. And it took him a while. So finally, I think I saw him when I was in Vegas at LCT. I bumped into him and I think his wife or girlfriend, and we struck up a little chat. He's like, Mark, I still want to like do something with you. So like, let's make this happen. And so literally the first day we turned it on, like 5 minutes later, he closed like a huge job. And, you know, he texted and he was just like over the moon. Like, dude, I should have done this so much. You know, he even says, I'm kicking myself in the face. I did not do this sooner. Which I'm not saying that always happens. You don't always get like a massive job in the first 5 minutes of turning the campaign on, but it does happen, and it's not uncommon.